You're watching News 24 Live. Political analyst Terry Bell joins us over Skype this afternoon to weigh in on the latest revelations by Deputy Finance Minister Jonas that the Gupta family offered him the top job in the Treasury. Terry, why has this issue erupted now?
Well, why it's erupted now is I think, it was an overstepping of the mark, basically. And I heard about a month ago about with the sacking of Nhlanhla Nene, that Des van Rooyen and two employees of the Gupta family had gone to the Treasury and actually basically said that they would now be signing all the authorizations, etc. They said that to officials at the Treasury. I only got that from one source, and being a very cautious sort of person, I couldn't go on only one source. But I also knew that other journalists had got hold of it, and it did eventually leak to the Financial Times and Africa Confidential in London about what had actually happened. And I think that was one step too far, even as far as many loyal ANC people were concerned. And so I think it was inevitable that Jonas had to come out into the open and say, yes, well, this is what actually happened. I'm just hoping that the DG in the Treasury, Fuzile Lungisa, who must be in a very good position to know what happened, will also come out perhaps and speak. The problem here is, of course, patronage and the fact that people need their jobs to maintain their mortgages, their standards of living, etc. And it is very well known within the ANC circles that if you step out of line, you lose your position.
Now, of course, earlier in the week, Fakey Mentor, former ANC MP, with similar claims. Why do you think herself and Jonas waited so long collectively to sort of come out?
There's an incredible loyalty within the ANC. I mean, what alternative do you have? If you step out of line, you're out. I think Ben Turok, who was the former father of the House, said this morning, actually, talking on national radio, was saying, we see one of the problems, he said, people keep coming to him when he goes to Parliament and say, comrade, you've got to speak out. We can't, because they have families to support. They have extended families in Eastern Cape or Limpopo or wherever to support. We can't afford to lose our jobs. And you see, this is what it's really all about. It's a question of patronage. And we shouldn't actually forget that this is something that's been part of the history of the ANC ever since exile. And I know that because I was in exile as well, also in the camps. And the point is that you always had a system of patronage, and patronage leads to corruption. And unfortunately, we seem to have imported that from those years of exile.
So in your opinion, this is not then a case of infighting as the Guptas maintain?
Of course there's infighting, most definitely. And the Guptas will be very well aware of it coming from Uttar Pradesh in India, which is actually the largest state in India and the most populous from where they come, where you have business and politics so intertwined you can't tell who's pulling whose strings. It's incredible. It's also known as incidentally, the most corrupt and violent state in India. Of course there'll be political agendas in play. Everybody's looking after themselves. The fact that the president today, was just sort of saying, I know nothing about it, basically. The fact that he didn't know Fakey Mentor. Fakey Mentor, who was the actual chair of the ANC caucus, of which he was a member, who traveled with him to China in 2010. We're going to have all the sort of contradictory statements, etc., because there are political agendas in play. But it runs deep, you see, this whole patronage thing. And in fact, there's a book that came out recently by a chap called Stanley Manong, who was a commander in Umkhonto we Sizwe, the 1976 generation, that actually gives very good illustration of the sort of thing that happened in exile. And there's another one coming out shortly, of which I've been personally involved, about the 1960 generation, which also shows this whole danger of patronage and how it actually works. It worked in India, it worked in Uttar Pradesh, particularly from where the Guptas come. And I think we have to understand that we're now dealing with the same sort of thing here, and we better deal with it properly.
All right, Terry, thank you very much for your insight.
It's a pleasure.